Alright, Elvis fans, so this video here is called Priscilla Presley, Her Own Imagination. Why did I title it that? Well, is it possible that Priscilla is kind of caught in her own childlike imagination of what her life and what her relationship with Elvis means to Elvis fans? It's possible. I think she's got grandiose ideals about herself and her place in history. I think that she thinks that she's the reason for Elvis' success. She's the reason for Graceland being the success that it is today. When if you look at it, she's got nothing to do with it. Elvis has everything to do with everything. Elvis was the original cool, the OG, OGOC. The reason why fans go to Graceland is because of Elvis, not Priscilla. There's a lot of people that give her credit for saving Graceland. You know who saved Graceland? Elvis. Elvis saved Graceland. People would have went there anyways. People were already going to Graceland. They just weren't being charged admittance. And she's not even the one. Now, I wouldn't put it past her to try to monetize Elvis Presley fans completely. Oh, we got to make them pay. Pay me, she says. She says, pay me the money. I want to make the money off of Elvis because I'm not making enough money off of Elvis anymore. And if she wants to take credit that way, yeah, I believe it. But she is not the one that came up with the idea to turn it into a museum. It was already in the works before that. And then the whole imagination about how she was going to be with Elvis. That, when Elvis was 50 and she was 40, they were going to get back together. Whatever. That's complete bull. There was one time when she and Mike were on the outs, Mike Stone, and she asked to come back to Elvis, and Elvis said, no, you wore your welcome out, basically. It's in an article that I saw in the paper, in an article back in the 70s, and it gets talked about, not enough, but enough. Her imagination, here she is, she's kind of like a Kardashian. She did date Robert Kardashian, and according to Robert's friend, whenever her and Robert were doing the deed, then Elvis would call. Well, she'd just take the phone off the hook and put it right in between them, so Elvis had to hear everything that they were saying and doing to each other. Doesn't sound like love to me. It sounds like imagination. She's got an imaginary Priscilla friend in her head that is nothing like who she is. And then, of course, we've talked about Child Bride a lot. We're going to continue talking about Child Bride. Her own imagination that Priscilla in the past didn't exist. The Priscilla that all of the friends and witnesses back in the day said that she went off in cars with boys when she was 12 and 13, smoking, drinking, and disappearing for 3 to 4 hours in a car. More than like, in a back seat of a car, front seat of a car, whatever. And that, that she remained chaste and innocent, when according to people around her in high school, she was having relationships with boys. Ron Tapp was one of them. And of course, Ron was her senior boyfriend who was killed in a knife fight on a beach in California. Not California, maybe on the East Coast, I think. So he's not around to corroborate the story. But yeah, it was a hot and heavy romance, according to friends and people. So that imagination. Priscilla lives in her own imagination, and also her imagination that Elvis fans love her. I don't see hardly any Elvis fans that love Priscilla. I see some Priscilla fans that love Priscilla because she looked great in a bathing suit in the 70s, because she was cute, she was good looking. There's a lot of stylish women, a lot of beautiful women in the world. She's just one of the millions of beautiful women. There's nothing special about that. What makes a person special?
In 10 miles, take exit 111B onto McMinnville Highway.
I'm on the way to a goal. What makes somebody special is their heart. How they treat people. How they treat their children. How they treat their... not even necessarily how they treat their friends, but how they just treat people in general. That was a big thing for Elvis. And I don't see that with Priscilla either. I don't. Unless it's money. If you're giving her money, she'll treat you good. for a while until the money runs out. That's what I see. That's my opinion. I can't state anything as a fact because I'm sure I'll get sued. She likes to sue me. But my opinion is that, if you just take a look at, what she's done in her life, who she's been around, the fact that she tours around and she collects money, to say the same tired, imaginary tales, in my opinion. And so, obviously, I know y'all are commenting already in the comment section right now about it. But if you're not, leave a comment. Tell me what you think about it too. But it just seems like, I don't know if she's truly as evil as some of us make her out to be. I think that she's locked in this imaginary tale. From the time she was young, her mom wanted her to be important, somebody very important. So did her dad, or not father-in-law. Would it be father-in-law? That would be stepdad. And they taught her, from what I've read, to be very deceptive, to be very calculating. She even admitted herself that she's calculating. She was calculating when she was younger. And if you're calculating when you're younger, you're creating narratives, you're creating stories. And if you create enough stories, well, you start to believe those stories. And that's what I think happened. I think that she created this narrative, this story, of this all-American girl, this American royalty. And there's people that are very welcome to oblige her on it, that have money, that want to feel like they're close to Elvis because they have access to Priscilla. Or they feel bad for her because they want to believe that one side of Elvis, that Elvis cheated on her all the time. But, what I choose to believe is that Elvis was tricked into being with Priscilla. He was tricked into feeling something for Priscilla because everything she did was premeditated prior to meeting Elvis. She learned about Elvis. When you learn what somebody likes and wants, you're not given a true picture of yourself, and you're manipulating the situation. And I feel like she completely, entirely manipulated the situation with Elvis. And that's the sad thing about it, is that maybe Elvis wouldn't have liked her, I don't think. Elvis wouldn't have liked that calculating fast girl, and once again, I'm not saying anything bad about fast girls. Hey, I've been a fast guy. I'm one of those people that never criticize, in a sense, who somebody is as a person. What I criticize is if somebody pretends to be somebody else. I don't believe in labels for people, in a sense. I don't believe that this makes a guy a bad guy, or this makes a girl a bad girl. We're all human. But where I draw the line is when somebody purposely fools somebody. You can be that way with by not being a fast girl or a fast boy. You can still fool somebody, and to me that just doesn't make it right. Anyhow, let me know what you think about this, and VCB TLC. Let's keep spreading the truth about Elvis, his goodness, his place in this world still, and how he's changed a lot of people's lives for the better, millions of people. How he's kept people going, and we'll meet again. All right, this is Rare Elvis Photos. Oh, and wish me luck. I got a golf tournament today, so hopefully I can win it. And